Yo, what's up, guys? It's Kess. In today's alpha video, we're going to be showcasing the new Vengeance Demon Hunter changes and the new Vengeance Demon Hunter hero talent tree. Um, Again, shout out to Blizzard for letting me take part in this event and giving me the opportunity to play test things internally before the alpha sort of reached more public scene. Very grateful for it, and thank you guys so much. And for those of you that know me, my sort of high-end M plus PvE content journey started, and wouldn't be anything without where it started. And I started on Vengeance Demon Hunter. Played Vengeance Demon Hunter for a very long time, so it still holds a special place in my heart. But anyways, let's jump into it. There are a ton of changes to Vengeance Demon Hunter. I am so excited to get in and actually try this in dungeons and stuff. So right away on the Demon Hunter side of things on the tree, we won't cover this too much because, as you can see, a lot of it has just silly icons and is under construction. There's no information. But it's pretty safe to assume that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points, 11 points on this tree, excuse me, are going to be different, reworked, moved around, deleted, who knows, right? So stay tuned for that. The Annihilator hero tree is the new Vengeance tree. This comes with the Devourer Demon Hunter spec that was announced. We'll go over that last, because first I want to jump into the Vengeance side of things, because there are a plethora of changes. So much. We'll go through every single talent. So Fell Devastation saw a damage buff and a very significant healing buff, like a 600% healing buff. So basically, you shouldn't die ever while pressing this button, and it's going to be doing a little bit more damage. With that came a little, like 5% nerf to Stoke the Flames. I believe it's 35% on live. It's now 30%. But so the baseline spell is stronger, much stronger, and then Stoke the Flames got hit a little bit. Spirit Bomb is now a hasted cooldown spell. So with my current gear on alpha, it's a 22-second cooldown. Consumes up to 5 available soul fragments, then explodes, doing damage. Increased by 20% per fragment consumed. And damage. Reduced damage beyond 8 targets. Fiery Brand changed a little bit. It brands yourself and the enemy target with demonic symbols, reducing the damage you take by 40% and instantly dealing damage. So I believe from reading this, it's a nice quality of life change. So let's say you brand a target and the brand dies or something like that. You yourself are branded, so you should still be getting DR. You just won't be doing the damage portion of it. So that's pretty nice. Ascending Flame. Sigil of Flame damage increased by 50%. So that's different. I believe it just used to be the initial hit. Quicken Sigil, still the same. Perfectly Balanced Glaive reduces the cooldown of Fracture by 1 second and Throw Glaive by 6 seconds. There is a new talent called Tempered Steel, which physical damage increased by 12%. And a lot of the changes they made to Vengeance Demon Hunter are focused a lot on like really high spike up time, threat generation, and sort of just like an easier time being defensive on the spec. Less like being squishy at the start of the poll because you're building frailty stacks and then you're that kind of stuff. So it's a lot more like streamlined defensively, which I think is good. But yeah, so 12% physical DR, insane talent, honestly. Calcified Spikes was reworked. Demon Spike just reduces damage taken by 5% while active. Roaring Flame heals you. Fell Dev heals you for 50% more. Sigil of Silence, 4-second silence. Still the same stuff. Retaliation. While Demon Spike is active, melee attacks against you cause the attacker to take physical damage. Generates high threat. And then we have a new talent. This also interacts with the new hero talent. We'll go over the hero talent portion later, but you're going to see it when I show you guys what this one does. So activating Infernal Strike out of combat or within the first 5 seconds of combat puts a Sigil of Flame at the targeted location. So again, very good for snap threat. So you're going to see 2 parts here. You're going to see the Sigil of Flame, and you're going to see like the coolest meteor strike ever. That's from the hero talent tree, but we'll go over that later. It's just so fucking cool. It's amazing. I love it. Um, Revel in Pain also got a some changes. So 2% of your fire damage shields you up to a maximum of 9,000. But the cool part is shield and maximum values are doubled while Fiery Brand is active. Again, making Fiery Brand even better cooldown. Burning in Blood, 8% fire damage. Feed the Demon. Every 20 Fury spent reduces the cooldown of Demon Spikes by 1 second. It's awesome. Just some Immo Aura talents. Sigil of Spite, same. So Frailty. Enemies struck by Sigil of Flame, Soul Cleave, and Spirit Bomb are afflicted with Frailty. You heal for 8% of all damage you deal to targets with Frailty. Feast of Souls, Soul Cleave heals you for X amount over 6 seconds, gives you a hot. Fallout, Immolation Aura's initial burst has a chance to give you soul fragments. It's all the same stuff. Volatile Flame Blood. Immolation Aura has 10% increased critical strike chance and generates 1 to 5 Fury when it deals crit damage. This can only occur once per second. And then Flame Fortification, you take 10% reduced magic damage while Immo Aura is active. Fiery Brand also increases fire damage you deal to the target by 30%. Chains is the same. Painbringer, consume a soul fragment, reduces all damage you take for 8 seconds. This is a 2-point node. So it would go to 6, I believe. Yeah, 6. Void Reaver, Frailty now also reduces all damage you take from afflicted targets by 4%. So there's a lot of small DR modifiers like stacking up all these different talent points, right? Focus Cleave deals 50% increased damage to your primary target. That's all good. This is the same. Frailty now increases all damage you deal to targets by 6%, 2-point node. And Soul Crush was completely reworked. The effects of Frailty are now doubled just by taking this talent. So pretty awesome. Then there's a new talent, Vengeful Beast. Meta has a 5-second increased duration and increases the damage of Soul Cleave and Spirit Bomb by 30%. So this is a pretty big damage cooldown now as well. And it lasts longer, which is great. Which makes Last Resort interesting. But yeah, we'll have to learn more about that when we get into testing. When Faldev finishes fully channeling, it refreshes 15 to 30% of its cooldown and refunds 15 to 30 Fury. And then aside from all of this, honestly, one of the biggest things is Soul Cleave is now uncapped. Soul Cleave hits every single mob, right? Like, your threat generation is going to be so much better. So it says viciously strike up to 5 enemies in front of you. But the information we received was that Soul Cleave now strikes all enemies in an arc in front of you, was 5, and damage reduced beyond 5 targets. So it's going to hit everything, but it'll do reduced damage beyond 5. So it's at least a step in the right direction, right? Mastery Fellblood was also buffed. And then a lot of spells were given like shorter cooldowns and hasted. Fracture's cooldown went up by half a second, but it's hasted. And it does more damage. It got a damage compensation buff instead. Spirit Bomb is a cooldown. Infernal Strike has a lot shorter cooldown, and this again is going to be super nice for Snap Threat and something else as well. But we'll get to that in a second. And then Demon Spike, like 17-second recharge. Everything sort of is hasted, had their cooldowns adjusted, whether it went up or down, and then like sort of received damage compensation or is like hasted and has really high uptime and stuff like that. There are so many changes. So many. Bulk Extraction, Extended Spike, Illuminated Sigils, Meteor Strikes, Sheer Fury, and Soul Furnace were all removed from the game. Those no longer exist. But yeah, that's pretty much it for like the Vengeance stuff. Now let's jump into Annihilator. I'm so excited about this. I'm not going to go over Aldraki Reaver because a lot of stuff is under construction still and not fully implemented, but Annihilator. So this is the Devourer tree that we share. So Voidfall, passive. Fracture has a 35% chance to grant 1 stack of Voidfall. Upon reaching 3 stacks of Voidfall, Soul Cleave consumes a stack to reach into the void and call down a meteor strike at your target's location, dealing X amount of damage to all enemies within 10 yards, reduced beyond 8. So, before we jump into the rest of this, I'm going to show you this. You kind of saw it when I leaped in. This is the coolest thing ever, dude. This looks so cool. So I have 2 stacks right now. Once I get to 3, which is surely soon. Surely. Okay, we're at 3 stacks, so Voidfall now says ready to call down Voidfall Meteor Strikes. Okay? I'm going to Soul Cleave once. It calls down 1. I'm going to Soul Cleave again. And then I'm going to Soul Cleave again. And it just calls like a ton down. It's so cool. It's actually so cool, guys. And that was the effect that you also saw when I leaped. So when you leap at the start of a pull, you call down meteors and you call down a sigil of flame. So threat should honestly just not even be a thing anymore. Spec. You should have threat, which is awesome. Okay, so each stack of Voidfall gives you 2% haste. Fel Dev's damage increased by 15%. Fel Dev generates 3 lesser soul fragments over its duration. Enemies struck by a Voidfall meteor take an additional 25% damage over 8 seconds, so that's a dot. Each stack of Voidfall grants 2% reduced damage taken. Fracture generates 5 additional fury and deals 25% damage. Activating Infernal Strike out of combat or within 5 seconds of entering combat calls down 3 Voidfall meteors. So Doomsayer and Felfire Fist go hand in hand, right? That's where like a lot of your threat will come from. Gain 3 stacks of Voidfall and reset the cooldown of Spirit Bomb upon activating Metamorphosis. So Meta is a massive, massive damage cooldown. Not only do you get the Vengeful Beast, so Soul Cleave and Spirit Bomb do 30% more damage, and the meta lasts longer, well, now you also get 3 stacks of Voidfall and reset the cooldown of your Spirit Bomb. So you could like Spirit Bomb, meta, Spirit Bomb, and then use all your Voidfall stacks, and you're just going to do so much damage. It's going to be so fun. We have a choice node here. Each stack of Voidfall grants 3% movement speed, or Torment has 1 additional charge. Final Hour. Passive bonuses granted by each stack of Voidfall persist for 12 seconds after being consumed. You can keep your haste and movement speed buffs. While at 3 stack of Voidfall, Spirit Bomb consumes all 3. Rapidly call down that many meteor strikes. Oh, wow. Okay, wait, let's test this real quick. Let's get to 3 stacks and then Spirit Bomb. And then meta and then Spirit Bomb again. Wait, this is going to be insane. Okay, we're at 3 stacks, so Spirit Bomb. Okay, so it calls the meteors. Then let's meta. Let's Spirit Bomb. Okay, so this seems to be bugged and not working. But anyways, you get the point. That's a pretty cool talent. You're going to do a lot of burst. Burst for sure. Dark Matter. Your first Spirit Bomb after entering Demon form causes a Shadow Flame meteor shower to assault the area. So again, just pressing Spirit Bomb and seeing so many meteors fall, it's just crazy. Cool. Otherworldly Focus. Spirit Bomb and Voidfall meteors deal 35% increased damage when striking a single target. Each additional target reduces this bonus by 5%. So that's kind of nice, I guess. A nice little single target buff for you. I'm not sure how the second part will... I guess it shouldn't affect threat too much because you're getting a lot of threat from other places now as well, but interesting how that will work in AoE. And then the last one is pretty cool. World Killer. It's a passive. The third Voidfall Meteor Strike called down in sequence is larger, has 50% increased area, deals 100% more damage, and reduces the remaining cooldown of meta by 10 seconds. So not only is meta going to be this insane damage cooldown, but you're also getting CDR every time you consume your Void Falls. It's so sick, guys. I'm so excited to play. Not gonna lie. Um, I'm gonna be testing the crap out of this once you can start doing like dungeons and stuff. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I love Vengeance. I've always loved it. I haven't been playing it much recently, but I'm really excited to jump back into it. Honestly, these changes are incredible. I'm super pumped. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.